How's it going, guys? It is time for Ivan. Favorite time of the day for me. Hopefully for you too. Um, we are on page 125. That is the last page we actually read. So we're going to start on 126 today. Just a little recap, right? Let's set our mental bookmark right now. So if I flip back, I already know because I already flipped back. Um, One of the saddest chapters, guys. Knowing that Stella is gone. Um, it's sad because, in my opinion, it could have been stopped. If they would have got her the right medicine, then she'd be okay. But Mac did not call the vet in time. So to me, that really makes me sad. Um, Not only was she stuck in that place, but now she died because she didn't get the medicine in time. So they got rid of her with a forklift. Those things that carry stuff like onto a truck and dumped her into a dumpster. And that's it. Very sad. That gets me every time. That makes me so mad at Mac every time. And what's even more sad after that is Ruby's reaction, right? Ruby's so sad. She lost her. The other elephant that was gonna, take care of her or comfort her or know, just it's like having another friend, and now she's gone. Now Ruby's all there by herself, right? So we started getting a little bit into Ivan, which is another change in this book that's happening right now. If you notice, Ivan said, "I can't remember anything" at the beginning of this book, and then it started saying, "Well, I won't remember," and then now. That Ruby's so sad, and after the big promise, right? The promise that he made Stella that he was going to save Ruby, right? That's what Stella wanted, even though that was a very, very hard thing to ask. That's what he asked her, or that's what she asked him. Um, and he said yes, and then he couldn't believe that he said yes. Then Bob went and told Ruby, "Ivan's gonna save you." So Ivan is freaking out right now, but he's also trying to really remember more about his life. We found out his name. Do you remember his name? It's on 125. It's Mud, right? Because he loved drawing in mud. So he's going to start with, we found out he had a sister. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about Ivan and see where the book takes us today. So here we go. Protector. My family, which humans call a troop, was just like any other gorilla family. There were 10 of us. My father, the silverback, my mother, and 3 other adult females, a juvenile male called a blackback, and 2 other young gorillas. Tag and I were the babies of the group. Remember, that's his sister, Tag. We squabbled now and then, as families will, but my father knew how to keep us in line with a simple scowl. And for the most part, we were happy to do what we were meant to do. To feed, to forage, to nap, and play. Sounds like the good life right there. My father was a master at leading us to the ripest fruit for our morning feast and to the finest branches for our night rests in the nests. He was everything a silverback is meant to be: a guide, a teacher, a protector. That's how I feel like I am to my family, my troop, as a dad, as the silverback of my family, right? A guide for them, a teacher for them, protector of them. And nobody could chest beat like my father. A perfect life. Gorilla babies and elephant babies and human babies are not so different, except that a gorilla gets to spend the day riding on his mother's back, like a cowboy on a horse. It's a pretty great system, from the baby's point of view. Slowly, carefully, a young gorilla begins to venture farther and farther away from the safety of his mother's arms. He learns the skills he would need as an adult: how to make a nest of branches, weave them tightly or they will fall apart in the middle of the night, how to beat your chest, cup your palms to amplify the sound, how to go vining from tree to tree, don't let go, how to be kind, be strong, be loyal. Growing up a gorilla is just like any other kind of growing up. You make mistakes, you play, you learn, you do it all over again. It was, for a while, a perfect life. The end. One day, a still day when the hot air hummed, the humans came. Vine.
After they captured my sister and me, they put us in a cramped, dark crate that smelled of urine and fear. Somehow I knew that in order to live, I had to let my old life die. But my sister could not let go of our home. It held her like a vine, stretching across the miles, comforting, strangling. We were still in our crate when she looked at me without seeing, and I knew that the vine had finally snapped. That's deep, guys. Perfect life for Ivan until the humans came. Put him in a crate with his sister. Tag couldn't handle it, guys. The temporary human. It was Mac who pried open the crate. Mac who bought me, and Mac who raised me like a human baby. I wore diapers. I drank from a bottle. I slept in human beds, sat in human chairs, listened while human words swarmed around me like angry bees. Mac had a wife back then. Helen was quick to laugh, but quick to anger too, especially when I broke something, which was often. Here is what I broke while I lived with Mac and Helen. 1 crib, 46 glasses, 7 lamps, 1 couch, 3 shower curtains, 3 shower curtain rods, 1 blender, 1 TV, 1 radio, 3 toes. My own. I broke the blender when I squeezed 3 tubes of toothpaste and a bottle of glue into it. I broke my toes attempting to swing from a lamp fixture on the ceiling. I broke 46 glasses. Well, it turns out there are many ways to break a glass. Every weekend, Mac and Helen took me in their convertible to a fast food restaurant, where they ordered me French fries and a strawberry shake. Mac loved to see the expression on the cashier's face when he drove up and said, "Hey, can I get some extra ketchup for my kid?" That would be hilarious. Can you picture that? Right? You should be picturing all this stuff, guys. More about visualization. A big old gorilla getting fries and a milkshake through the drive-thru, or breaking the shower curtains, or the crib, or the couch, right? You can picture that, him swinging from the ceiling. I went to baseball games, to the grocery store, to a movie theater, even to the circus. They didn't have a gorilla. I rode a little motorbike and blew out candles on my birthday cake. My life as a human was a glamorous one, although my parents, traditional sorts, would have not approved. I love this picture. Little toddler, kiddish Ivan with a little diaper on. Hunger. In my new life as a human, I was well tended. I ate lettuce leaves with Thousand Island dressing, and my caramel apples, and popcorn with butter. My belly ballooned. But hunger, like food, comes in many shapes and colors. At night, lying alone in my poo pajamas, I felt hungry for the skilled touch of a grooming friend, for the cheerful grunts of a play fight, for the easy safety of a nearby troop, foraging through the shadows. Right? He's remembering, like, everything, all this is great, but he's still the only gorilla, right? He has no other gorilla family or friends. Remember what happened to Tag, I told myself. Don't think about the jungle. Still, sometimes I lay awake, wishing for the warmth of another just like me, asleep in the night nest of a tender prayer plant leaves. I liked having sips of soda poured into my mouth, like a bubbling waterfall, but every now and then I longed to search for a tender stalk of arrowroot, to feel the tease of a mango just out of reach. Still life. One day Helen came home with something large and flat wrapped in brown paper. "Look what I bought today," she said excitedly as she tore off the paper. "A painting to go over the living room couch." "Fruit in a bowl," Max said with a shrug. "Big deal." "This is fine art. It's called a still life," Helen explained, "and I think it's lovely." I dashed over to examine the painting, marveling at the colors and shapes. "See," said Max's wife, "Ivan likes it." "Ivan likes to roll up poop and throw it at squirrels," Max said. I couldn't take my eyes off the apples and bananas and grapes in the picture. They looked so real, so inviting, so edible. I reached out to touch a grape, and Helen slapped my hand. Bad boy, Ivan, don't touch. She jerked her thumb at Mac. Honey, go get a hammer and nail, would ya? While Mac and Helen were busy in the living room, I wandered into the kitchen. A cake covered in thick chocolate frosting sat at the counter. I like cake. Love it, in fact. But it wasn't eating I was thinking about. It was painting. The frosting peaked and dipped like waves on a tiny pond. It looked rich and gooey, dark and smooth. It looked like mud. His favorite. I scooped up a handful of frosting, and I scooped up another. I headed to the refrigerator door. It was perfect. An empty, white, waiting canvas. The frosting wasn't as easy to work with as jungle mud. It was stickier and, of course, more tempting to eat. But I kept at it. I scraped off every last bit of frosting. I may have eaten a little cake, too. I don't remember what I was trying to paint. A banana, most likely. I suppose I knew I was going to get in trouble. But at that moment, I just didn't care. I wanted to make something. Anything. The way I used to. I wanted to be an artist again. Are you picturing him painting with a cake icing, right? On a fridge? Right? He wants to be an artist again. What better way than mud than some icing, right? Punishment. I soon learned that humans can screech even louder than monkeys. After that, I was never allowed in the kitchen. 139. Babies. Back in those days, the Big Top Mall was smaller. It had a pony ride, a wooden train that bustled around the parking lot, a few bedraggled parrots, and a surly spider monkey. But when Mac brought me, a baby gorilla dressed in a crisp tuxedo, to the mall, everything changed. People came from far and wide to have their pictures taken with me. They brought me blocks and a toy guitar. They held me in their laps. Once I even held a baby in mine. She was small and slippery. Bubbles flowed from her lips. She squeezed my fingers. Her rear was puffy with padding. Her legs bowed like bent twigs. A little baby, don't know, with a diaper on, sitting on Ivan's lap. I made a face. She made a face. I grunted. She grunted. I was so afraid that she would fall that I squeezed her tightly, and her mother yanked her away. I wonder if my mother ever worried about dropping us. We always held on, but that's a lot easier to do when your mother is furry. Human babies are an ugly lot, but their eyes are like our babies' eyes, too big for their faces and for the world. All right, we're going to read one more here. Beds. One day, after many weeks of loud talking, Helen packed a bag and slammed the front door and never came back. I don't know why. I never know why of humans. That night I slept with Mac in his bed. My old nests were woven of leaves and sticks and shaped like a bathtub, cool green cocoons. Mac's bed, like mine, was flat, hot, without sticks or stars. Still he made a sleeping sound like the rumble my father used to make when all was well, a sound from deep inside his belly. What's that sound? Snoring. You are correct. My place. Mac grew sullen. I grew bigger. I became what I was meant to be. Too large for chairs, too strong for hugs, too big for human life. I tried to stay calm, to move with dignity. I did my best to eat daintily, but human ways are hard to learn, especially when you're not human. When I saw my new domain, I was thrilled, and who wouldn't have been? It had no furniture to break, no glasses to smash, no toilets to drop Mac's keys into. It even had a tire swing. I was relieved to have my own place. Somehow, I didn't realize I'd be here so long. Now I drink Pepsi, eat old apples, watch reruns on TV. But many days I forget what I am supposed to be. Am I a human? Am I a gorilla? Humans have so many words, more than they truly need. Still, they have no name for what I am. What do you think? Sorry, guys, I gotta take notes sometimes while we're reading. A lot about Ivan's childhood, or gorillahood, I guess, young gorillaness. Awesome. I love hearing that part. He had a good life, right? Well, he had a perfect life in the wild, and then he was taken away from everything. Then he had his own kind of life now, right? Enjoyable. People, Mac taking care of him, customers loving him. But now you can see that last thing he said, like, I don't know what I am, what am I exactly? So hopefully you enjoy. I will see you next time. Check for activities.